So this session is being recorded, and I am going to get us started. I'm Teresa Gibson from the Friday Institute, and I'm going to just quickly share my screen so that I can do the quick welcome and why we're all here. So, welcome to everybody to the Innovative Leaders Virtual Conference. Today we are spotlighting Wyoming leaders. Nancy and I have had the privilege of working with this group of innovative leaders in Wyoming for the past year, and we've been working, the Friday Institute has been working in partnership with the Wyoming Department of Ed and this amazing group of innovators across the state. So we are really excited to get to showcase them. Your hosts for today are Nancy and I. And so Nancy, you want to say hi?
Hello, everyone.
And Nancy and I are in the same room, so we're sharing a mic. But hello. But our real guest today, our spotlight today, is going to be on Tracy DeReich. And Tracy, I am going to just pass it over to you so that you can share your story with us. So welcome.
All right, thank you so much. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Nancy and Teresa for all the help and the leadership that they've provided to our cohort, and it's been a fantastic opportunity for me, and I'm really happy to be able to brag on my school and my teachers and share a little bit about the work that we've been doing this year. So I am going to just dive right in and share my screen, hopefully. I thought I knew what I was doing here. Let's see here.
You just mouse over the bottom of your screen, you're going to see that share button.
See that share, yep. Okay.
Oh, and we can see your screen now. Perfect.
You can?
Yes,
okay,
ma'am.
So you can see it, but why can't I see it? I guess I'll just go there.
Yep, so if you go to your slides and hit present, you're all set. Yep.
Okay, good to go. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Basically, I guess just a little bit about myself and my school. I am a principal at Peak High School, and I am going to talk to you about how we added resiliency education to our personalized digital learning. And we are, like I said, an alternative high school. The real work, I know, is done by the teachers. I have a staff of 2, Mrs. Becker, who does our English language arts and social studies instruction, and Mrs. Hayden, who does our math and science instruction. So within our school, we have 2 amazing teachers who care, and myself, I'm there to support that learning and their efforts. We have 33 at-risk students. We serve grades 10 through 12 primarily. And I think this adds up to one fantastic opportunity for academic and social and emotional growth. So a little bit about our school. We are in Platte County School District number 1, which is in southeast Wyoming. And we are on the campus of our traditional high school, which is Wheatland High School. And our students, this is just their 3rd year of existence for this high school. I've been principal for 2 of those 3 years. So we offer our core classes online, and we use an online service called Edgenuity to deliver that curriculum. And our students work at a monitored, individualized pace. And I think the real strength of our school is that we share that campus with Wheatland High School, so our kids can still go to the traditional high school for their art and their music, their CTE courses, their PE, and so we get them up and moving along with their screen time. We are accredited, and we do offer a diploma to our students, or the students have the option of being in credit recovery and then transitioning back to Wheatland High School. So they have the option of graduating from Peak or from Wheatland High School. Our students are all on individualized learning plans, and they are kind of a one-room schoolhouse concept where our teachers, if they have 10 kids in the room, those kids are in 10 different classes in 10 different places. So our teachers really become more a facilitator of learning rather than the provider of direct instruction. So I think another strength of our school is when a student finishes a course, they can roll right into another one. They're not waiting on a teacher to make assignments, select assignments, grade assignments. So they can go as fast as they need or want to go. So when we started this school, it gives you a little just kind of breakdown of the makeup of the school. But when we started this school last year when I came on, we had a name, and that was it. We didn't have any kind of vision or mission or mascot or logo. So I really felt it was important that we create an identity and that the kids buy into that identity. So we had a contest, and the students drew up ideas of what they thought would be a good. We started with the mascot. And the one that won the contest, the students voted, is this peak dragon. And so I put his initial drawing on there. We now use more of a tribal kind of a dragon look for our mascot. But on the poster, he wrote, "Success is our wings, determination our fire." And I thought, you know, how perfect is that, that the dragons have wings and they spit fire, and the kids just really embody that, I think. And so that was an awesome opportunity for the kids to really buy in and own that process. So I guess transitioning back to kind of what makes us special, the first thing that we talked about as a staff is really the at-risk factors that we see. So you can imagine when we talk about at-risk kids, everybody has an idea of kind of where those kids come from and what makes them at risk for not graduating. One thing that we really looked at is failing 3 or more courses in their high school career. If they've done that, they're at risk of not graduating on time. And then other things that factor into that then are poor attendance and sometimes behavioral issues stem from those problems. A lot of our kids live on their own and are actually supporting themselves. So we use a job co-op program so that they can get they turn in their work hours for school credit. We see some just lack of support from home, a lot of single parent families, a lot of blended families, and we also noticed that obviously socioeconomic status has a lot to do with it, it seems. We have a teen mom, and so we do offer that opportunity for students to continue their education. And then we do, see the free and reduced lunch population in our school. So just a lot of things that by no fault of the students, in most of the cases, they've kind of landed on our doorstep. A lot of our students are 5th-year seniors who've come back, 6th-year seniors who've come back, and students that are close but didn't quite make it and decided, nope, that's really what I want. So when we looked at addressing these risk factors, we really wanted to just look at what we could control. We couldn't control what had happened in the past or where the students were, but we could control what we could do moving forward. So we decided that really the things that we could control were utilizing an individual learning plan. All our students are on individual learning plans. We felt like we could connect with our students on a deeper level because of our small class sizes. We knew that we could take advantage of that online learning platform, and the students could go as fast as they needed to go. We could track the students really easily using that platform, and we could encourage the students then to use that to their advantage in terms of moving through the curriculum. We also offer a pre-test option. So if the students, every student takes a pre-test before every unit. If they score 80% or above, they're excused from that unit because most of them have had this class before. It's not a new course. It's a lot of times credit recovery, and they know the material, but for whatever reason they didn't hand in their assignments, or they left before the unit was over. but they a lot of times do know the material when they sit down and take the test and take the class. So we really felt like we could engage parents and take advantage of the small class sizes again to try and get that parental or guardian buy-in. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit more here in a minute. But we really put that as a priority for our teachers. We really wanted to focus on the surveys that our students take. They take a survey every fall and every spring, and we really wanted to use that data to help drive what we did here at this school. And we progress monitor with fast testing, so we progress monitor their reading, and then we also, of course, track their credit completion and their course completion. So we saw some growth with these measures, but it really was not what we were looking for. So the next step that we dove into is we really asked ourselves, why do some kids bounce back while others wither? And we knew three things for certain. We knew that we had kids that fit into one or more of those at-risk behaviors. We were trying a plethora of interventions, but we still had kids failing to make progress. And we really felt like we were not addressing their social and emotional education needs and really that resilience piece. So we looked at really what is building resiliency and just basically the capacity to recover quickly from difficulties and toughness. We just saw kids just not feeling like it was worth it. That's kind of what we were hearing. So after researching a plethora of options, the program we chose was Why Try Resiliency Education. And this isn't a commercial for Why Try, it's just the framework that we used, that we built all of our components around. So I did include a link to Why Try, and I'll let you, if you're interested in this, I'll let you explore this on your own. But basically, they do offer a fairly simple, hands-on approach. They really focus on their dropout prevention, violence prevention, truancy reduction, and increased academic awareness. So those things really do, they really do hold true. Okay, so when we looked at how to implement this program, we are on a modified block schedule. We follow the same schedule as Wheatland High School. And we have twice a week for 41 minutes that we call peak time. And this is where our Why Try lessons were incorporated. So we really took advantage of this time and looked at how we could try and help students to build those skills. So we received training, the teachers and I, we all went to the training. We received the materials and the activity kits and kind of just dove in with both feet. The implementation of Why Try, I think, is important because it has basically 10 components. I just put a few of those up on the screen. It talks about tearing off labels, defense mechanisms. My favorite is climbing out. I just think that the discussion that ensues, the activities that the teachers did with the students, and then the opportunity to reflect were super important. And then these posters, the teachers, after they've covered each of the topics, they put the poster up, kind of a constant reminder of what the students have done. This is a little video of one of the things that the teachers did, one of the activities that the teachers did. And we found, when we broke it down, we came up with 6 connections. And we felt like it was all about these 6 connections. And the first connection that we started with was building trust. So you can see that sometimes it gets a little chaotic, but the kids seem to enjoy it. And this activity basically would lead then to communication. How did you feel about that? The students had a blinding goggles on, and one student was using their voice to lead them through their obstacle course. But we're hoping then that the transference of these attributes would then be apparent in the students' lives. The second connection that we really focused on was self-affirmations and positive self-talk. The teachers have started seeing a difference in student behaviors just by using this. And these are some posters that the kids made after one of the activities. And my favorite is the one on the far right. It says, "I am stronger than the enemy standing in my path." And the backstory on that is the girl wrote this, and then she crumpled it up and she threw it away. And the teacher went, dug it out of the trash, sat down next to the student, and talked to that student about that. And by the end of the period, the student had ironed it back out with her hands and hung it up on the wall. And it's there still today. I just think that that's such a powerful message. And I think it's even more powerful because it has that crumpled look, and you know, it's kind of been fixed and reattached. Another connection, third connection, really, I think is the one that we're on, is giving back. So one thing that the teachers noticed was that the kids hadn't really ever become part of a project bigger than themselves. They hadn't been involved in community service. So Mrs. Hayden wrote a grant and received recycling posters, recycling bins, and the kids now recycle on the Wheatland and the Peak High School campuses. And I think that's been really good for them to see what an impact that can make just in their own environment. Another thing that they do is we have an ecology area, and the kids just love to go out there and they clean and they rake and they fix it up. And last week they painted the benches and they put their motto on one of the benches, and I think that's really powerful. So they're seeing that impact on giving back and the difference that they can make there. Another connection that the teachers thought was important is leadership. These kids have had not very much opportunity in being leaders. And so our other teacher, Mrs. Becker, she contacted our K2 school, and she started a Reading Buddies program. And our students, really, I feel like it serves a dual-fold purpose, where the students practice their choral reading skills, and they get ready to go over and read to the students. And they also then work with the students one-on-one or in small group settings. So they're putting themselves in a leadership position and a role model position. And so that was new to a lot of our students. Another connection that we felt really important is building pride. So we started with the logo, and then we continued that through this year, really celebrating our successes, celebrating our uniqueness, kind of trying to communicate with each other and with the Wheatland High School what we're all about. So I just put some pictures of things that we've done throughout the year. The picture up here in the top is a picture of the students in our homecoming parade. Wheatland has a homecoming parade, and those students had never been on a homecoming float. So it was great. They had blue and gold for Wheatland, they had purple and black for Peak. They made signs, they rode in the parade, and they dressed Mr. Becker's little guy up here in a dragon suit. And it was absolutely fantastic. They just had the best time. I think really paramount to all this is students setting goals and learning how to set goals and attain those goals. So it's another connection that we're trying to make. So this picture on the lower right-hand side of the screen is in the teachers' classrooms. Every week they set the goal, how many days are left, and then the weekly goal for the kids, and then the seniors' goal as well, because the seniors have a few less days than the other students. And they sit down every Monday with every student, and they have a PDSA document where the kids own and track their personalized data, and they plan on where they need to be by the end of the week to get themselves either on track or ahead of schedule. They make a plan on what could be holding them up or making them unsuccessful, and then they act on that, what they can do, and how Mrs. Becker or Mrs. Hayden can help them. Then they celebrate what's happened throughout the last week. And then at the end of the week, they create a plus delta. And this is one way that the teachers can really help the students, because they're not delivering the instruction. They need that communication on what the kids have learned and what they still have questions about, so they can help them delve deeper and be successful in the online environment. Oops. Okay. Our next connection is our last connection, and one of the things that we felt strongly about is because the teachers aren't doing the lesson plans, because the teachers have a lot of automatic grading, we needed to focus our efforts where we thought that it could make the biggest difference, and we really felt like involving their guardians and their parents could make a huge difference. So along with having meet and greets and along with sending information home about FAFSA and college and timelines, our Edgenuity also has a family login and a family portal. And the parents can choose whether they want a daily, a weekly, or a monthly update within that portal. But every Friday, our teachers contact every parent, whether it's by phone, by text, or by email. And they include, just an update, what's been going on and where the kids are at. And then they concentrate really on the positives of those. And I have 2 teachers, 33 kids, and last week I looked at the log, we logged those in our milepost, and they had 1,177 contacts. So I just think that is incredible that almost 1,200 contacts, it probably is 1,200 by this week, that they have spent that much time with building those relationships with those parents and keeping those parents in the loop to that point. Because we saw a lot of parental just they weren't buying in either, and so we really felt like we've made huge inroads to getting those parents back on board with us. So I guess kind of sum it all up here. Last year, before we implemented our connections, before we tried our Y-Try, our students completed 81 courses. This year, since we implemented it, we have 136 courses completed, and they're bringing those to me several each day. So I think this will be probably closer to 150 by the end of the school year. So that's an 68% increase. We had 3 graduates last year. We've had 11 graduates so far this year for a 366% increase. Last year we had 15 people drop out. 6 did go to the GED high set and 1 to Job Corps. This year we've had 8 drop out, but we've transitioned 6 of those into adult basic ed to get their GED high set for a 47% decrease in dropouts. And last year I logged 79 disciplinary incidents, and I did have 1 expulsion last year. This year, since Y-Try and since our connections, I've logged 29 incidents. So a little over 63% decrease in behavior incidents. So I feel like we've made huge progress, and it's totally on the teachers. I mean, they work so hard, but and we have a ways to go. I'd like to see that dropout number be 0, and I'd like them to complete every class that they start. But I know that it's making a difference, and we're going the right direction. So we're going to continue all that. I think that this last picture really sums it up. So this girl graduated in April, and she came to me and she said, can I decorate my cap? And I said, sure. And this is what she came with. I would entertain any questions or advice or any follow-up, anything that comes to mind.
Yeah, so
Wow, Tracy,
Tracy,
that was awesome. Thank you for sharing.
just amazing data too. Like, congratulations, those are epic numbers. It's amazing. So I would love to hear a little bit about the teacher process, the process you and your team of teachers had to go through to kind of prepare yourself for this.
Well, we spend, it's amazing really when you just have two people to focus on how much you can get done. And so really it just comes from our PLC process. And I mentioned the student surveys that the students take. And the state of Wyoming WDE mandates that we take those surveys. They send those surveys out and they're great. They really are. They're the opportunity for the students to answer anonymously. So we really spend a lot of time digging through those surveys and the data that we got back in terms of how they felt about their school. So we use those data points as drivers for what we feel can make a big difference in the students.
That's great. I love that you use that student input to make changes in your school.
Right.
That's fantastic.
So, Tracy, I'm curious, have you seen or been able to share with, I know you're within or kind of a wing of the other high school, of your high school, have you been able to share with them at all any of this information or?
Well, the teachers know that, the Wheatland High School teachers and the administration on the Wheatland High School side, we work side by side every day. It's just really a partnership, and they're amazing too. They work really, really well with us. But they see the kids graduating, and so we share that on our website. We share that in the newspaper, and so they see, and they're their kids as well. So they're our kids. We share them, and so we want the kids to feel that same.
So if you had one piece of advice for a principal, whether it's an alternative high school or a traditional high school, but what would you say has been the biggest game changer for you? I mean, you talked about a lot of great things and the core principles that you were implementing, but what do you think is the biggest game changer?
Well, I think it goes back to what we heard Pete and Steve say. It's that relationship piece and building those relationships with the families and with the kids, and the trust, all those connections that the teachers made. It's really, it comes back to that relationship piece and knowing that the kids know that we're here for them.
Great, that's wonderful.
That's wonderful. Well, Tracy, thank you so much for giving your time to us this morning. I think we learned a ton from your presentation and great strategies that you're implementing.
Thank you.
For everybody online with us right now, we just want to let you know we are recording this session and we will make the recording available to you. We will put it on the website, but if you want this link to be emailed to you, you can just shoot me a quick note. And let me see, Tracy, do you know how to stop sharing your screen?
I do know that, yes.
Great. If you would do that, I'll put up our email addresses really quick. And then, you can see I went to your website while you were talking. And then if anybody wants to reach out to Nancy or I, we are happy to share with you at any point in time. So there's our email addresses if you want to just take a minute to grab them. Or take a quick screenshot. And with that, we're going to let you all go. Thank you all so much for joining us.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.